Elisha, what's going on, man?
What's up, dude? How are you?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good, bro.
Happy to hear that, man. I just got a couple questions about, your upbringing in the sport, your career, your upbringing fight, and what you think the future holds for you.
Cool. Let's do it, bro.
Awesome, man. So, take us back to growing up in Washington. What was life like there, and how'd you find your way into combat sports?
Life growing up was it was a little rough. My dad was serving a life sentence for murder, and my mom, she was doing like some prison ministry, so like they would go into prisons and like talk about Jesus. And anyways, they met, had four of us, and she was just kind of thugging it out as a single mom for a while. And then my dad got out, and then went back and got out, went back, and we just struggled financially. And I don't know, it was a rough. I didn't grow up in a great area, but my mom did it the best she could, and I don't know. I always grew up kind of angry a little bit. I think some people would say I had anger problems a little bit, and yeah, man, I joined the military, enjoyed it. I was still an angry person. Became a cop. I think my patience grew a little bit, but I like went into some life circumstances. I ended up getting fired from my job, and then I was just super angry, bro. And I walked into a jujitsu gym in my town, and trained for like on and off for a couple months. And the coach was like, "Hey, man, like, do you want to train?" Or do you want to compete? I was like, oh yeah. I was thinking he was talking about like jiu-jitsu competitions, bro. And lo and behold, no, bro. He was talking about MMA. I was like, nah, I don't want to get punched in the face. I did a jiu-jitsu competition. I did all right. But I was like, I was hungry, bro, for something more. And I took like my first MMA match on like a month's notice, barely training. And freaking went in there. It was like a dogfight for one round. Probably the hardest I've ever been hit, bro, in my life. Like completely wobbled my legs, bro. I look like Bambi. I could probably send you the video, but anyways, it was crazy, bro. I ended up finishing the dude. He took me down. I reversed the position and then choked him out, and I just kind of got high on that win. And I mean, it kind of started from there, bro. And like a lot of people talk about like fighting as like a therapy. I think it was at first. But now, like I fight for different reasons. Like I'm not as angry of a guy anymore, and I got a wife and a kid, and so yeah, man, I fight for them now.
Well, for one, thank you for your service for the
Oh,
military
bro, no
and
worries.
police officer. And it's awesome to see how much you've grown from there and where
Yep.
you are now. And so, a little bit on that upbringing, you mentioned jujitsu, and you also mentioned having that first MMA fight offered to you, before you started really training.
Yeah,
Talk to me about, when that was and how much, how much you were in that, purely jujitsu mindset before you actually went on to, that 1 month training camp for MMA.
bro. It was like the my last year as a cop. I probably I didn't want to do anything hard, bro. So I'd show up to jujitsu practice for like once a week. I'm like, all right, that was hard enough. All right, I can take 2 weeks off. I take 2 weeks off, and I was like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? And then like I started coming a little bit more consistently, and I still couldn't bridge the gap between jujitsu and MMA.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking more um, purely like as a striking aspect, but I couldn't bridge the jujitsu and the striking yet. And so like that 1 month period, I my coach told me, or he told me back in like September, but I was like, oh, I'll think about it. And I was like, finally, like, yes, in November. And the fight was December 9th or something like that, bro. So, yeah, he pretty much just shark tanked the hell out of me to get my cardio up for in November. And like I think I remembered some moves. Like we just got down the basics, like rear naked chokes, like arm trap and roll, just beginner level stuff, bro. And I mean, my coach is a freaking goat at jujitsu. Jeff Houghland, shout out to you. Um, and yeah, bro, he just really drilled the basics. Nothing crazy, bro. We went out and it was a freaking barn burner. We were just slugging. Literally, it was probably some of the dumbest shit you've ever seen, bro. I wouldn't say it was any technical aspect, except when I reversed the position and got a rear naked choke. But that was it, bro. Yeah, I don't think I like jujitsu. At least in the beginning, I liked jujitsu because it helped me lose weight, bro. And I was like 298 as a cop. I was a fat dude, and and it helped me like in uses of force situations, like with like resisting suspects and stuff like that. But yeah, bro, I don't think I really understood it until after that first MMA fight. I was like, oh, okay, like this jujitsu shit can actually be useful. And so, yeah, man.
Okay, so you mentioned your coach, and it sounds like you've been with him for a while. So,
Yeah.
was this first fight with Combat Sport and Fitness?
Yes, bro.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you've really been over there for a long time. Tell
Yeah,
me
those
about,
guys are. Sorry, go ahead.
oh, I'm just curious, tell me about who, you're with day to day training and, who are those key training partners that, you're with right now, especially?
Yeah, so right now I'm down in Arizona training at Ultimate Combat
Okay.
with Javier Torres. He's Waldo's coach. I think he helps coach with Tyrell Fortune. Then we got another guy, Javier Reyes. I think he's a 145er. But my coach in Washington, Jeff, my training partners are Chase Hooper. I got another buddy, Cam Berkey, Lando Taylor, a bunch of like good guys, but they're under 155. So they give me like good looks in terms of cardio, and like they're really sharp in their skills, bro. But I needed like something with body weight, bro.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it's different moving around a 155 who walks around at 170 versus a heavyweight who walks around at 280. And so my coach kind of Jeff kind of gave me the blessing, like, hey, like you can go down there for this fight camp. Javier Torres like welcomed me in, bro. Those guys are like family to me. My coach trusts Javier, and they have the same game plan for this upcoming fight, and like I don't know, it speaks volumes when your coach doesn't just want to hold you back at your gym. Like he sees the potential that you can have, and he's pushing you out to other places to go and try and be the best you can be. And so, to that, like I would say, like I have the best coaches I think out there. But obviously, like so I don't know how much you want to get into the fight right now, but like Chase gives me great jujitsu looks because he's a freaking dog. Yeah, he's a goat at jujitsu.
Hmm.
But in terms of like, I need the heavyweight striking looks. It's
Hmm.
just different. The punching power is different. The punching style is different, which is kind of cool. Like I'm down here, I'm training with this dude Adrian, this dude Jose, who's a phenomenal wrestler, bro. I'm getting great heavyweight looks down here in Arizona. So if that answers your question.
No, yeah, it definitely does. And I'm kind of curious about two things. So, you mentioned that Torres coaches Waldo, and he's an exceptional boxer in the
Yeah.
heavyweight class. So, I can definitely see that you'd be getting those kind of looks from the other guys. Are you getting minutes in with Waldo as well?
So I think he's out on injury right now.
Okay,
He'll be in. I mean, we're actually sparring tomorrow.
awesome.
I think it'll be me, him, Tyrell, and some other heavyweights from around the area. So to answer your question, formally no. I mean, I came back in February and I got some good sparring with Waldo and Tyrell and those guys. Um, Obviously, I had to go back home, but I'm down here like to get good looks from these guys,
Hmm.
and it's happening. Like I'm getting if Waldo's not at the gym, then there's other great heavyweights, bro, to get good looks from, and dudes with insane gas tanks, which is freaking helping my gas tank. It's amazing, bro. It's a good experience down here.
Oh, I can definitely tell. You're naming a lot of high level fighters like Fortune, Waldo, and or not Torres. Who was the 145er you mentioned?
Oh, Javier Reyes.
Javier Reyes, right. So you're surrounded by a lot of good fighters that are giving you great looks. And
Yeah,
I'm curious, in Washington, you mentioned how there's all these high level fighters, but, they're fighting at featherweight 155,
yeah.
145. So when you're there, Are you training with these guys to, work on your speed, work on your or not IQ, your coordination? And because these guys, when you're at 155, 145, they're a lot more fast and,
Oh yeah,
yeah. So are you training with those guys to work on, just overall speed, athleticism, coordination?
yeah. I would say yes, but it's more on the technical
Mm-hmm.
aspect. Like I mean, even if you look at the lower weight classes, these guys are a lot more technical. They're obviously fast, and their cardio is obviously amazing, but just the striking, the jujitsu, everything is a lot more sharp and crisp. Versus you get to the upper heavier weights, and sometimes it's a slugfest. Like I'm fortunate to be able to train with Waldo and Tyrell, and Tyrell is a phenomenal wrestler. He's a good striker. Waldo's an amazing striker, and I mean, yeah, I think my coach in Washington does an amazing job at drilling, just the things to, I guess, clean up and sharpen the tools that we already have. And then he obviously helps us like deepen our bag a little bit. So, but my coach, like he fought in the UFC. I think he fought at 35. So again, let me use my voice crack there. Again, again, like there is a weight difference, and I'm not the first heavyweight that he's coached. He's gonna say I can't think of the other heavyweight in the UFC that he coached, but anyways, yeah, there's just differences, and my coach does a good job at cleaning up what I guess what he already sees potential in, and so yeah.
So I can tell that you have super high praise for your coach over in Washington.
I got to, bro. I got
Of
to, man.
course.
He's a good dude.
And I gotta ask, can we thank him for the nickname, the Snack Panther, or
Bro,
where did that one come from?
the people have asked, man. And my coach is a freaking, he loves comic books, bro.
Hmm.
Like the dude, I would say, is addicted, bro. And me being the only black dude at the damn gym, they didn't want to give me the damn what's the black African the Black Panther.
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't want to give me the name the Black Panther, especially because I'm at heavyweight. So he called me Snack Panther. I don't even eat a lot, bro, which is crazy. But I think at the time I was eating like McDonald's and shit, so I guess that makes sense. But yeah, man, he's for sure the creditor and the creator of the Snack Panther, man.
That's awesome. How early in your career did you get branded with the name the Snack Panther?
Shit, in November, bro, when I took my first fight, November of 2022. So what was that, 4 years ago, something like that?
Yeah. Okay, so you've gone pretty comfortable with the name. Back in 2022, when you first were telling the guys that you announced me as the Snack Panther,
Yeah.
what were the kind of reactions you were getting?
Bro, to be honest, I didn't like the name. I don't like something better, like sexual chocolate or I don't know. Shit, the Black Hammer. I don't know. But people like the Snack Panther. And then we created these shirts. You remember, I don't know if you ever seen the photos, like the black dude sitting on the bed with his
Yeah.
dingling out, bro. Bro, so we like Photoshop or Chase Photoshop my face over the dude's face, and then we put a QR code to my Instagram over his dick, bro. And we sold out of those shirts. Like I think every time we put them on sale. And so yeah, I mean people, it just caught, and I just kind of went with it. I didn't like it, but now it is what it is. But
Well, for the people, where can we get that? Where can we buy that shirt?
bro, we're sold out. Like I think I may have to do another run of them, but yeah, we've literally sold out every time we put them on sale, bro.
I mean, they're awesome for one,
Yeah, they're sick. They're
and
sick.
with a fight card as big as International Fight Week, which I want to get into a little later.
Yeah.
I can definitely see how you 100% you'll sell out again.
Yeah, well, maybe we have to run it back, man. Maybe.
I think it would be. I mean, I think I'd have to get mine for sure.
But I'll send you one complimentary. Don't worry about it. I got you.
I'll rep that. Next video.
All right, bet.
So, before we get into that, I'm curious about your, career and your regional grind. You built your career primarily through the Muckleshoot Fight Night events in the Pacific
Yeah.
Northwest. What was that regional scene like for you, and what did competing there consistently teach you for the next levels of the game?
Okay, so bro, if you just look in my region specifically, it's hard to get heavyweights, bro. And with guys having fights at all times and us trying to get fights at other casinos or whatnot, like it's hard to like go and fly to an LFA fight when
Mhm.
I don't know what it was Fridays or Saturdays. Like
Yeah.
we may have fights the following day. So the regional scene, it's tough for heavyweights specifically, um, but it's good. I mean, the Muckleshoot, I think it seats like 3,000 people, something like that. Um, but it was just hard to find matchups, and also like I was super new to this,
Mhm.
so my coach just doesn't want to throw me in the deep end with a dude with a winning record at first. I think the thing he'd tell you is like it's about building
Mhm.
your prospect. You don't obviously want to give your prospect the hardest fight in the world,
Right.
because he's he, especially if his bag is not deep, he doesn't have the skills to match up to that dude. It's gonna be hard, and especially like with him trying to push me um, to the contender or whatever. Like typically you're the contender is like taking like guys who are being built,
Mhm.
prospects essentially. Um, but to answer your question, like the regional scene is good, but bro, it is freaking tough to find heavyweights, bro. And then like respectfully, like good heavyweights at that. We get fights and
Mhm.
guys drop out, and then we have to take a shitty fight, or we get a good fight, or we get a shitty fight and guys drop out. We got to take a little harder fight, and that's okay. But I think my coach really the thing like he wanted to harp on it, at least in my amateur career, was like you don't want to always take the 50-50 fights,
Mhm.
or the like where you're the 40%, the other guy's the 60%. Typically, like if you're trying to build a guy, you want to be the 60, you want the other guy to be the 40, just so you can build that experience, try things that maybe you've been working on, at least in your amateur career, and then when it's professionally and the fights matter, that's where you got to take the risk a little bit. And so that's what we did with my last regional pro scene, or pro fight. And that guy was a really good wrestler. And like he was good for fucking throwing random shit out and getting a win. So like ultimately it played in our favor. But just to answer your question, like the regional scene is hard, bro.
Mhm.
So
Well, you say that the regional scene's difficult, but then again, you also went 5-1 on that scene before getting your call in the UFC. Looking back at that grind, when you had those fights booked, and people weren't dropping out, what was the hardest part, about just getting inside the cage?
honestly, I my coach put together. I keep saying my coach, but I have no experience of fighting
Mhm.
outside of my coach, and so like the same um, plan he had with Chase is like I think fight a year, or fight 2 years, and get you in the UFC as a professional is the same plan he had for me. So we fought. Um, I think I fought 1 year amateur, or maybe a year and a half, and we cranked as many fights as we could out. Um, and then the next year, like we cranked as many fights as we could out again for as a pro. And yeah, bro, yeah, I don't know. I think the best part is just staying active, bro, and just getting to show, I guess, different aspects of your game each fight, or at least showing that you're leveling up each
Mhm.
fight. Um, I think that's what the matchmakers want to see, like from the UFC. They don't want to see just a one-dimensional guy. They want to see a guy that can threaten submissions, a guy that can strike, a guy with decent cardio, a
Mhm.
well-rounded guy, because it helps their promotion grow. If that answers your question, I don't. Sometimes I talk, but I don't fucking remember.
No, no, that does answer my
Okay.
question. And looking back on that, you only had one loss during that regional grind, and that was back in 2024 via side
Yeah.
choke. So after that, you went on to win again 3 times in a row. So after looking back on that, what did you learn from the fight to help you bounce back like that?
Hey, so I took that loss hard, bro. But honestly, I like all credit to him. Um, but I was doing the bare minimum to scrape by, and because it got me through a lot of fights before, just basing off athleticism, just the bare minimum. And taking that loss, bro, was a chin check, and it was like, all right, you can't do the bare minimum. If the UFC is where you want to get, you have to push yourself, make yourself uncomfortable, and put yourself in hard situations. Like, yeah, I mean, I was eating shitty. I'm not trying to take away anything that guy earned by beating me. But I was doing the bare minimum, bro. And so I just told myself like it's never gonna happen again. And yeah, I mean, so here we are now.
Well, with that obviously fared well as you went on that 3-fight win streak.
Yeah,
And I don't mean to toss two double negative questions at you, but I am curious to talk about that loss in your debut against, a guy
yeah,
in Brando Pericic, who, credit to him, is making that top 5 jump. So
yeah.
looking back, that loss has aged very well. So it takes no credit away from you. I'm curious, since then, what have you learned and adapted in your game that you learned from that fight?
Again, it's like for me, it's been like stairs, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like you make a climb, all right, you plateau a little bit. You make a climb, you plateau. But each climb, like you're learning new things about yourself. Not to take anything away from Brando,
Mm-hmm.
that dude's a freaking monster. But like I wasn't pushing myself and getting in uncomfortable positions. Not like only in the cage, but the work I was putting in outside of the cage. Like I was just going to the gym, going through the motions. All right, I got a fight coming up. I was doing everything I would normally do for the regional scene, and that got
Okay.
me by in the regional scene. Just doing that bare minimum is not going to get you by in the UFC. You're fighting the best in the world. So really opened my eyes up. I got to push the envelope in
Mm-hmm.
everything I do outside of this fight, whether that's cardio or wrestling or jujitsu or striking. Everything I have to do to improve myself, and I have to feel uncomfortable while doing it. Um, and like also, um, it's your first UFC fight. I'm not making excuses. I didn't perform,
Mm-hmm.
but I was trying to fake it till I made it. Like, all right, fake it like I'm not nervous. Uh, I don't know. I didn't feel like myself during that fight. Um, and obviously I didn't get the performance I wanted at all. And I mean, yeah, credit to Brando again. He did his job.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't take anything away from him, but it's not happening again, bro.
So with that, you obviously sound super confident, and you mentioned those nerves in that UFC debut. With you've been in the ring before, you've been in those lights, you've seen the
Yeah.
fans now. Are those nerves gone walking into this fight? You see it now as you and your opponent, not you and your opponent with people.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the initial nerves, I think, are gone. But
Okay.
I think it's good to have nerves to an extent because it helps you, be mentally sharp and perform to the best of your ability. But there is nothing like walking out of that cage. I mean, walking out of the tunnel, bro, and you seeing thousands of people. But you got to let that fuel you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I think I let that intimidate me a little bit. And like I wasn't in my home country, and people are booing, whatever it may be. You got all these thoughts racing through your head, bro. And so yeah, like the jitters. I'm praying and hoping, and we're doing everything outside the cage, like to make zero excuses, and to make sure I come in that cage prepared to be the best I can be, and get the win that we're trying to get. So, yeah, we're checking every single box this fight. I can say that confidently, and I
Mm-hmm.
can confidently say like we're doing a lot more than I did from my last fight.
So, with that, this fight is, July 11th, 329, International Fight Week.
Yep.
People are saying it's one of the biggest cards, arguably the biggest card of the year.
Yeah.
So, personally, what does it mean to you to have the honor to fight on a card this big and really put your name out there for people to know?
I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm.
I could give a shit less, bro. I honestly could care less who is on the card. It doesn't matter. Uh, to me personally, like I don't. I think I maybe used to do it in my amateur,
Mm-hmm.
like put these UFC fighters on these pedestals, and I freaking tell people all the time, like, if whether they're asking for a photo or not, I'm like, bro, I'm just a regular dude, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to fight to support my family, bro. That is it. But yeah, I could give a shit about who's on the card, bro. Like, respect
Mm-hmm.
these
Yeah.
fighters, you know. I would have rather been on an Apex card or some shit like that. I could care less. Um, but it does give you a lot of exposure, which is good, especially in this sport. The fighters with the more clout get to call more shots,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just, I mean, it's good for the company and it's good for the fighter. I'm blessed with the opportunity that I get to fight on such a big card because it gets to bring a lot of
Mm-hmm.
eyes to me. And if I'm just being honest, like I'm gonna use a lot of that attention to talk about Jesus, and when I win, then I get to talk about him some more. So it is what it is.
It's awesome to hear, and it's actually can definitely benefit you to have that mindset because though that's just less distractions.
Yeah,
Thinking about the guys on the card, it's just gonna be you and the other opponent in the cage. So I can see how
and
that's benefit you.
yeah, I mean, and like I already figured I was gonna be an underdog, and that's probably the case now. I don't gamble or anything, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't really look at the odds.
Yeah.
But Gable Steveson has a lot of clout. He's a great wrestler, but we're not wrestling, bro. And so that's why I think people are, yeah, yeah, they're taking his past performances and they're elevating him to something I don't think he um like respectfully like deserves to be at, especially being 3-0. But people can say the same thing about me. Um, but again, like I don't care who you
Mm-hmm.
put across the cage from me, bro. I'm betting on myself. I'm doing everything I can possibly do to take that other dude out. And that's just I didn't give a shit who they put across from
Mm-hmm.
me. So
So you kind of answered my next question because I can see that you don't really care who's on the other side of that cage. It's just more about the game plan and fighting
yeah,
to win. So a win over Gable Steveson. This is a guy who's been a talked about prospect for a bit. It would be one of the more talked about moments in recent UFC history. So
yeah.
what does that mean for you? And how are you approaching this fight mentally? Are you throwing that all aside?
Oh no, dude. I've like just talking to people, like my thing has been like I'm just here to shock the world, bro. People are gonna count me out, like and it sounds cliche saying this, but like
Mm-hmm.
people have been counting me out all my life, so it doesn't matter, and I've defied the odds every time. Um, but yeah, I mean, beating Gable Steveson will be a notch on my belt, and I mean, I'll keep it pushing. He's not anybody,
Mm-hmm.
um, of high stature to me. I could care less about him, to be honest. So yeah, I'm just here to get the win, make my family some money, and go home and chill somewhere, bro.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. And so, a little bit on what you said earlier. You said we're not wrestling, and
Yeah.
with that, have you been working on that takedown defense a lot? And overall, how do you think this fight is just gonna play out stylistically?
Oh yeah, bro. So to that, like we're not wrestling. I think it would be dumb of me to not work what he is phenomenal at, which would be wrestling. So we've brought in really good grapplers, phenomenal wrestlers, bro. He's an Olympic wrestler. Tyrell is an
Mm-hmm.
or was an former Olympic wrestler. Like, so it would be dumb of me to not seek out people who have been on that level of wrestling and get looks from them. So, yes, we've been working wrestling. Um, but stylistically, I think, I think he's going to if when he gets hit hard, right, he's going to go back to his first nature, which is
Mhm.
wrestling. And so just being prepared for that, being prepared for the defenses. And, if I get taken down, I get taken down. We're just going to get back up and keep it pushing. So really just, it's like, you know, it's like math. So you have a mathematical equation and you're just trying to find a solution for it. And so whether you mix the numbers differently, it still equals to the same number. So whether it's a 6 and a 4 to 10 or a 7 to 3 and 10, the numbers are just different. So I'm preparing myself for every possible equation and trying to get that same end result. So
When you talk like that, you really sound like, a student and a technician of the game. And it sounds like you're really putting all in, putting everything in, on the mental and physical side. So, to be honest, I'm just looking forward to what's next,
oh
come fight
man,
week.
yeah, I'm excited, bro. I don't. It's funny because I don't know. I don't know. I'm not fucking freaking great in front of cameras, bro. So it may be some awkward moments. It may be some funny moments. Yeah, I'm good at cracking jokes. Just because I could care less about the cameras, to be honest. So I don't know. I don't know what you guys will expect, or I don't know what to expect, but I know I'm gonna win. So
And so on that, and just backtracking a little bit with the you're practicing your grappling and you're practicing the takedown defense and getting back up. Going into this, he's 3-0 with those. So there is tape to watch and learn.
yeah.
Would you say you have the striking advantage going into this fight?
So I would say yes, just because I'm believing in myself, and I'm betting on myself.
Mm-hmm.
But heavyweight is always like a one shot, um, weight class. Everybody hits hard in this weight class, and yeah, I don't know. I'd give myself the advantage. Um, but again, like it's heavyweight, bro, and
Mm-hmm.
anything can happen. So you just never know. But again, I'm betting on myself. So
With that ideology, that it's a one hit division, have you been working on that defensive striking a little more than tossing, just, brawling almost?
100%, bro. Especially based off my last UFC fight.
Mm-hmm.
We we found a lot of corrections that need to be made, and we've been making them. And I've been making myself pay when I'm like physically, not as in like I take notes. I take my coach's corrections they tell me to do, and then like if I screw it up in fighting, whatever, I'm paying after practice. Like whether it's some type of exercise or I don't know. I'm always trying to just be better than I was yesterday, bro. And so yeah, I'm always telling my coach like, hey, if you see my hands down, like slap the shit out of me, like whatever it may be. Like I am going to go into that fight the crispiest you've ever seen, at least out of me. And so yeah, I just want to make sure like I'm crossing my T's and dotting my I's and doing everything I can do to be the best fighter. That you've seen at least out of me or
Mm-hmm.
American people, whatever it may be. But they've seen that in me. So I'm gonna go in there the best version of myself.
Well, I'm excited to say the least. I have one more question before we wrap this up, and before that, I just want to thank you for your time, for the opportunity for hopping on the call, and like I said, I'm looking forward to watching that win.
Yeah.
So, at 29 years old, you have everything still ahead of you. So, where do you see yourself going in the UFC, heavyweight division, and how far do you believe you can go?
To be honest, like, bro, I'm just trying to work to support my family.
Mm-hmm.
And my kid is a newborn and my wife. Whatever fights make the most amount of money, um, or whatever. Okay, let me rephrase that. Whatever fights make the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we'll sit down with my coaching team and take those fights. And I don't know, dude. I don't want to do this shit forever. This like I don't think anybody wants to
Mm-hmm.
fight forever. And if they do, they're lying, bro. This sport, like it's rough on your body, it's rough on your mental, it's rough on your family. I want to be a present father for my kid and my wife, and whatever fights make the most sense and the most amount of money, so I can pop smoke when whenever it may be. We'll take them. So yeah, that's I don't to answer your question. I don't know what's next
Hmm.
after this, so we'll see.
Well, the world's your oyster, to say the least. With only one fight
I
under
say
your
that all the
belt.
time.
Huh? Yeah, I mean, it truly is. You only
Yeah.
have one fight under your belt, one fight upcoming, and I can only assume you're gonna have more fights after that. So,
Oh, for sure.
truly, a world of opportunities for you.
I appreciate it, man.
Of course. And so, yeah, I mean, that's all I had for questions today. And I wanted to thank you again for your time. And I'll be waiting for that T-shirt in the mail.
Oh, bro, I got you. Just shoot me your address, man. It may be. I think I may have like a 2XL, but
Perfect.
if we do a fresh batch, bro, I'll shoot you one of your size.
And yeah, any shirt triple XL to a small, I'll rep it. I don't care if I look stupid in it.
I bet, bro. I got you. I got you, man.
All right. All right. Thanks again, man. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, man.
Appreciate it.